Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
And my name's Doug.
We're the world's strongest under the heavens duo here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Doug, what's new with you, man?
You pulled me away for enough time for me to stop playing Pokemon Arceus. I didn't think that was possible, but I've been playing that game, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, I've been playing it as well, so I had to tear myself away from playing it. That's been my nightly ritual. How far along are you? How many stars you got?
I think I'm at 6 stars right now. I'm a 6-star boy. Girl. I'm a 6-star girl.
Whoa,
yeah,
6?
I know. I as soon as it lets you off freely into the world, I'm like, all right, I'm going to forget the story and just go and catch these Mon everywhere. It's so fantastic.
It's good. I think I've got like 500 XP before I hit 4th star, so...
Nice. I tried rushing through it a little bit. Not rushing, but going at a quicker pace, because I wanted to unlock, like, when there were outbursts within the world. But then come to realize that outburst, you can get them from the first mission you have, and I just been unlucky, and I've not gotten an outburst yet, because I wanted to try and catch shiny Pokemon.
Yeah, I didn't get my first outbreak until yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try and do that tonight after this.
It's all a bunch of little tiny leaf things. They look like tiny little trees. I don't remember all these newfangled Pokemon.
Not Sudowoodo or anything?
No, it looks like one, but really young and tiny. But I don't think it's baby version. I don't know what it is.
That's the best part of the game. It's just encountering Pokemon you're familiar with in the distance, and just like, oh my god, is that a Pikachu back there? Oh, is that a Geodude? Oh, cool! Like it makes you feel like an adventurer, like discovering.
I came across a giant alpha Tangrowth. Is that what the Tangela?
Yeah.
In the swamp. I was terrified. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so creepy, man. It's intimidating.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun though.
I finally get to the point where I'm trying to catch the alpha Pokemon though, and it's so awesome to have them in your team. I have like this alpha Luxray, and it's like humongous. It's crazy.
My highest level is like a 40. And I just caught a level 50 Roserade like the other day, and it was an alpha.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
So
man, I caught a alpha Wurmple. So I got this like 4 foot tall caterpillar like thing. It's fantastic.
Does it stay big when it evolves?
I don't know. I don't want to evolve it because I think it looks ridiculously hilarious. That's just a giant Wurmple.
That's good, man.
But yeah, I guess my quickie review would be same as everyone else's. The game is super fun, but looks like doo-doo. Really pretty doo-doo, but doo-doo.
Right. I did a thing this morning, man. I finished Dragon Ball Z Kai final chapters.
Oh, wow. How was that adventure?
Was it worth it? It was not as great as standard Kai. But it was...
really?
Yeah, like, I enjoyed the original Kai stuff. I mean, I will admit, I don't really dig Sumitomo's work in this. It wasn't standout-ish, so the music was bad, and also there was, like, one track that was bad that was used over and over again. I felt like the pacing was much slower than original Kai, because, like, original Kai is, like, what? 89, 90-something episodes?
Well, like, refresh my memory on Kai, because I'm kind of blurred on that aspect. Like, they got to the Cell games and kind of took a break. Was it because of the music controversy? And
that happened to happen just at the tail end of things, so it didn't really.
Was it their initial plan to just do Kai up until that point, and then they got enough?
I believe so, because it was not super popular. So then, like, it ends after the Cell arc of like, oh, and then here's a preview of like all the adventures that Goku will go on and do that you're not going to see.
We don't intend on making, so here's what you're going to get.
And if I can remember correctly, there were things that like leaks from Funimation that was like, oh yeah, we've got Buu Kai.
Oh, it really
for years.
It leaked in America about even before in Japan that it came out.
Well, because it was much more popular internationally than it was in Japan. So there was a plan to do...
like, there's other countries outside of here that like Dragon Ball?
Right? So I believe that that was all produced years before there was anything. And then, like, you know, Battle of Gods came out, and then they needed to find a replacement for Toriko, and they're like, well, hey, here we go. Let's just do... We've got this sitting on the shelves. It's actually a different episode count for the Japanese version than it is the international one. Okay. Yeah, the Japanese one is about 7 episodes shorter. Which is weird.
Why is that?
They needed to fit it into a certain number of episodes for their season order. Because then the week after Kai, it's not final chapters in Japan, it's just Kai.
Okay.
And then the week after that, that is when the new seasons of anime started, and that's when Super debuted. So they needed to fit it in that week order, but originally for the international version, they just had, as many as it took, which was too many. It's too long. Because, original Kai is 80 or 90 some episodes. I think it's 98, and that got us from, Raditz all the way through Cell. And then Final Chapters is 69 episodes, and it's just the Boo stuff.
It's just the Boo arc? It's just the 2 or 3 days that the Boo arc entails?
Yep.
Damn.
God, it took so long. It's
so I guess it was a different team that took care of that then? They couldn't get the old team.
It's also 16:9. There is no 4:3 version. It has a weird green filter over it, so I don't know why that was chosen as a way to color correct.
I remember that whole story, yeah. I suppose I collected all the DVDs too. I think at that point I'm like, I'm good. I'm done. I got the original Kai. I'm like, if eventually I come across the other ones, I'll buy them to complete the set. But no, this is not the best way to watch it. So
yeah, I did not buy anything past the first set of Kai for years, and then
it's 16:9 only. That's wild.
Yeah, it's annoying. That's for sure.
That is. They can't get anything with Dragon Ball right. I don't know why. It's so hard to release a show.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's frustrating.
Tell me about it.
Tell you that. So now I've got to
give it to fans.
Yeah. So now I have to figure out what I'm going to be doing in the mornings before work. If I'm going to.
That was your ritual. Now it's gone.
Yep, exactly. So I got to find a new show. Maybe I'll do GT because I haven't watched that in 12 years.
Yeah, you could.
I've got a whole bunch of other anime on my list, like Scried. Gurren Lagann. That's just a whole bunch of stuff.
Gurren Lagann. That's a good one.
Gurren Lagann. So I'll have to figure it out. But we didn't have to figure out what we were watching for this episode of the podcast.
That was a quick, hey, you want to watch this? Yeah, let's totally watch this. And then we watched it.
We got to come up with a topic. Do you want to do another quiz? No? All right, well, let's just watch another thing.
Does Doug want to think about stuff? No, I don't want to think about anything. Let's just put on a movie.
Doug no use brain. Doug just watch.
Exactly. That's how I operate.
So this episode, we're talking about Dragon Ball Z TV Special 1, A Final Solitary Battle, the father of Z-Warrior Kakarot, who challenged Frieza. Oh,
that's a mouthful.
It sure is. In America, I believe they just call it Bardock, father of Goku. So.
Bardock, the movie Bardock.
Dragon Ball Z, the movie. Bardock, the movie.
Totally not a TV special. What is a TV special?
Nope, it's a movie now.
Yeah, it's 48 minutes, so it's a good length. It's good for a TV special. I guess I picked up 2 slots.
That is the length of, Dead Zone and some other movies, so I get it. But, yeah, it was not a theatrical thing. It was TV. Which, you might
I'll probably still trip up throughout this whole podcast. Movie. I mean, special. Special. I mean, movie, yeah.
I'll forgive you. I mean, behind your back, I'll be like,
of course, yeah.
That dunce.
Every time I say Saiyan to you, you're like, this guy.
Oh, that's not true. So, Doug, let's duet this, much like the ending theme for this TV special.
What a fantastic duet, by the way, but yes.
Oh, yeah.
That you and I promise we'll learn and then sing karaoke.
Now that it's recorded and into the internet, I guess I have to.
All right. The synopsis. You want to go ahead?
Give it to me, and let's do it together.
On planet Vegeta, a Saiyan named Kakarot is born. Meanwhile, Kakarot's father Bardock is busy conquering planet Kanasa, together with his team of fellow Saiyans. Though they succeed in wiping out almost all of the planet's inhabitants, Bardock is attacked by a single survivor, Toro. Toro's his name, I guess. To avenge his race, Toro curses Bardock with the ability to see the future, so that he may be plagued by visions of the Saiyans' own forthcoming annihilation. While Bardock stays on planet Vegeta to recover from his attack, his team goes on to planet Meat, their next target. Planet Meat, their next target. Bardock finally makes a full recovery and goes to see his newborn son, not on purpose, disguised by his son's low battle power.
You want to try that again?
Yeah. Bardock finally makes a full recovery and goes to see his newborn son. Disgusted by his son's low battle power, Bardock judges him to be nothing more than scum. And with that, he heads off to Planet Meat to join his comrades.
When Bardock arrives on Meat, however, he discovers that Frieza has turned on the Saiyans, and that his team has been wiped out by Dodoria. To avenge his comrades, Bardock kills Dodoria's men, but is easily beaten by Dodoria himself. Left for dead, Bardock recovers and heads to planet Vegeta to warn the other Saiyans of Frieza's betrayal. Just as Bardock nears the planet, Kakarot is dispatched to a distant world called Earth, and the pair's spaceships briefly cross paths. Arriving on planet Vegeta, Bardock is laughed at and disbelieved by everyone he meets, and he soon realizes that he has no choice but to confront Frieza, all by himself. Frieza's spaceship approaches planet Vegeta, and Bardock flies out to meet it, defeating many of Frieza's men along the way. Frieza emerges from his ship and fires a gigantic energy ball at Planet Vegeta, which Bardock is powerless to repel. Planet Vegeta is completely destroyed by this attack, along with Bardock and Frieza's petty henchmen, while Frieza himself laughs with delight.
Meanwhile, Kakarot's spaceship has landed on Earth. Baby Kakarot is soon found by an old man named Son Gohan, who adopts him and gives him the name Son Goku. And so, the story of Dragon Ball begins.
Ooh, I got shivers at that part. This TV special aired October 17th, 1990. It was the special that aired the week after episode 63 of Z, which is the end of the fight with Gerd, and the next episode is Raccoon. So, such good animation back to back this week and the next, man.
God, that Raccoon battle was so well animated.
Animation supervised by Katsuyoshi Nakatsuru, scenario by Takao Koyama and Katsuyuki Sumisawa. So, let's go over it, man. This TV special. It's a prequel.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a fantastic little side story that wasn't even done by Akira Toriyama.
Right. It's I believe in an interview he said that he likes it because it's a story he wouldn't himself tell because it's just such a different tone.
It's not his vibe, not his tone, yeah. But yeah,
and I mean, of course, he does rewrite it later. But, you know.
Well, we won't talk about that.
Let's just talk about this iteration here.
I'll say as much as like popcorn fun as those other Bardock iterations are, this one tells a better story that is, I guess, better realistically within the world of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about the very odd and like different choice to throw in Bardock's power to see the future, see these visions of what's to come.
I was telling you how I think the movie could have been written. They could have written around the whole future saying thing. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't that big of a part of the movie. It kind of was thematically, but I feel like the same thing could have been done if Bardock overheard a discussion with like Zarbon and Dodoria talking about, Vegeta's gonna destroy the whole planet, Vegeta anyway.
I mean, that's true. There's different ways to solve that problem of him learning about it, but I think that the reason why I think it works better than just doing that is because we get that final shot with Bardock seeing Goku facing down Frieza, and that knowing smile. He's like, I'm dying now, but my son is going to have the last laugh.
That's when I changed my mind about it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this futuristic, this like crazy future-seeing powers. Okay, it serves the story. It serves this small story very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was wondering, he's attacked by this person from Kanasa who gives him this ability. Is this something his people had already, and they also saw that like the Saiyans are going to come? They're going to turn into big monkeys, and we're going to fight, but we're going to lose. Like, I wonder if that was there.
I mean, maybe they didn't believe in fate, and like we just changed stuff. Or I mean, maybe there is no fate, and there was a different universe where they did win against the Saiyans, but in this instance they didn't. Because I mean, in the beginning they yell out like, "Oh, just like in the Vision." Or no, was that just in the dub that they did that?
I forget. Remember.
I think you and I were talking in the beginning. We're just like so amped up about watching that when we talked over the subtitles.
Right, yeah, absolutely. What do you think about Bardock's team? He goes out with a whole squad of people.
I love them, and I love that they're not fleshed out too much, because we're supposed to just care about them enough by proxy of Bardock. So that we feel what he feels when he finds them dead.
Right. It's very clear that this is like a crew that he travels with all the time for like all of their missions. So like there's that camaraderie between them. But like, we don't know their family lives or like what are their hobbies. Yeah, we just know that we're all co-workers and we enjoy our job.
We have Sugesh, our Lord and Savior, our angel.
Just weird jokes we make while we're watching this shit.
It's actually an in joke with the Dokkan Battle community, the Dragon Ball Z mobile game. Whenever you pull Sugesh, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a good pull if I get Sugesh in one of my earlier pulls. Like it's a meme now. There's been a meme for years. Like so everyone calls him Lord Sugesh. Wow. Like we love him.
Now is that Panbukin's dub name?
Or no, wait, is it? I guess so. Yeah, the big, the fatter one, not the bear, not the taller, but the shorter, like the chubby one, the one who doesn't like wearing pants.
Yeah, that's Panbukin.
Panbukin, yeah. I guess it's Sugesh in the game. That's how I know him there.
Okay, I mean, like I know that the games generally tend to go with the dub naming conventions, at least internationally or here in the US.
The times I have to search in Frieza to find a Frieza card. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
While I'm playing the game, I gotta find Frieza, but I gotta type in Frieza just to find the right character.
It hurts me. It hurts me in my Kokoro. That's right. Elitist piece of shit me also saying Kokoro. Sorry.
You do you, man.
Yeah. So what else we want to talk about this here? Because, like, you know, he's got his gang, and we kind of get a sense of his relationship with Goku. I mean, nobody mentions Raditz, but, you know, whatever.
Unfortunately. But it was
Bardock
cool that
like, whatever.
When Bardock is in that little healing chamber, and he comes out of it, and he's still wet from it, his hair kind of falls down, and for a second, he kind of looks like Raditz, which is, I don't know if that's my mind trying to find some relation to Bardock, but I thought it looked kind of cool. They look kind of like Raditz in that moment.
Right. I mean, then there's, you know, some family resemblance.
And then we got little Vegeta here looking like a cat.
Aw, little Vegeta who's just like a cat who always wants your attention until you give it to him. He's like, leave me the fuck alone.
He just always looks pissed off, but, you know, he loves everyone, but... Yeah.
And he's got bangs, man.
That's the thing you pointed out to me that I cannot ever unsee now, that he has bangs now that eventually turns into the Widow's Peak.
It's the 90s. Bangs are in.
I mean, he rocks them. He looks young with it. He kind of looks like Akira.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's got the insane face, much like, you know, Tetsuo gets from time to time.
Yeah.
But and like Horikawa, it just makes him, he sounds like Vegeta, just tiny and young and just a little bastard.
It's really reflective of future Trunks and Trunks as a kid. Just like that's the same voice actor. It just makes him sound younger. Like that's father, like true. Son. How poetic.
Aww. Yeah, exactly. They're not voiced by the same person like Nozawa's whole family is, but they have a similar thing.
Yeah. But no, it's great to see him again, and he's in his Boo style clothing, even though it's not the Boo arc yet. Nowhere near.
Right. Just the blue onesie and then the boots and the gloves.
Yeah. I kind of wish he was in a tracksuit, just like Gohan does in Resurrection. But that's besides the point.
I mean, we do get Nappa with hair, which is a big deal.
Yeah, that's huge fan service, I'm sure. They just had to throw that in there. It'll be funny if we give him hair. That's hilarious.
How do we make him look younger? Hair. Okay.
Hair. So great.
It works.
It does.
And he's just like this weird sniveling, like, you know, an underling of him. Like,
yeah, like he's a total simp.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's a weird thing, because he was never like that before. He was just a big idiot.
Yeah, just a big idiot. But he probably sees Vegeta as an adorable little cat as well. Like, he's worshiping. He does a little, like, hand gesture, like, aw, like that a human would do to a cat.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Ugh. And then, like, just that look on Vegeta's face when he goes in is like, I'm just wanted to pay respects to Frieza and bows, but he's just got this, like, furious face.
Yeah, he's like, got that detest in his heart that you know.
Yep, absolutely. Which I guess we learn more of where we're at in the TV anime, because
that's true.
You know, just in the middle of the Ginyu Force stuff, and eventually we get, you know, more flashback things, and like, of course, Vegeta talking to Goku before he dies.
Did you find out where in the manga this was? Like when this aired?
No, I didn't look to see.
Okay, but obviously like a few chapters ahead, so we've learned about Vegeta and everything, but that's cool.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think the anime was very close to where the manga was during the Namek stuff.
But I'm forgetting about the whole the production of anime, where it takes weeks, months to make this, so they probably were even further behind when they're making this. But for them to get, I think they just like saw Vegeta like, yeah, he's angry, let's make him look angry. But then it just works in this context where you understand why has that look of detest on him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have like the big betrayal of like, you know, Bardock is healing from their attack and everything, but his, you know, Toma and the others are like, well, we're gonna head out on our next mission to meet
the planet Meat.
Go subjugate some other peeps. It'd be good times. Some real team building exercises.
And I like how Zarbon and Dodoria are having a conversation behind Frieza, like with Frieza there, but like behind him, like talking about the Saiyans. They're not like talking to Frieza about him. They're just kind of glorifying the Saiyans in a way that Frieza's just like, he kind of already made his decision, but he's just kind of like, it's reconfirming his thought process on like, yeah, these Saiyans are kind of troublesome. I should just kill them all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like passing water cooler talk. Like, oh, did you hear that those guys like, you know, did this? Like, oh, that's impressive. You know, I didn't think they'd be able to do that. You know, I'd be kind of worried if they were getting, you know,
you scared of a couple of Saiyans? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I wouldn't want to tangle with them, you know, during a full moon, you know, and they just keep getting stronger. They got a Zenkai, we don't know about it, but they got a Zenkai boost. I mean, Saiyans in this story are kind of reminiscent of just RPG characters where you battle, you get experience, you get stronger and stronger. Where this world really isn't about that. Like, if you're not a Saiyan, you don't have that boost. You just stay stagnant. Your battle strength is your battle strength. And that's why Scouters exist in this world. Because your battle power is your battle power. It doesn't raise or lower unless you have a transformation.
Right.
But with Saiyans, you get experience and you go up.
It's also very interesting that Zarbon and Dodoria do not age from when they're introduced here to like what happens later on Namek.
Zarbon ages like fine wine, and Dodoria is just the Dodoria.
He's always looked ugly.
Poor Dodoria.
Oh, come on. He's a mean person who likes to kill children. You can't be like, poor Dodoria.
This is like 25 years in the past. It's like crazy. They look the exact same, but it's chalk it up to alien stuff, so it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God, how old would they be, though? They're probably like 50, if not hundreds of years old, if that, and Bulma's all about that. Going to Zarbon, like, ooh, Zarbon-san.
Yeah, so handsome. He's probably only like 84. Oh, man. But then the betrayal, and then Bardock catches up to him. And
Dodoria kills all of Bardock's guys, his crew,
except for Toma's. It's critical.
He's clinging on to life. Yeah,
it's mortal wounds. And then that how did you feel about that whole exchange of like, hey, they're gonna be betraying us, and go show them what science can do.
I love that in a sense that the story doesn't give us that satisfying ending that it kind of builds up. We only know that because we know Dragon Ball. We know that's not going to happen, but Toma kind of sets up Bardock as being like, you're going to avenge us, you're going to be the one to defeat Frieza, and like they both truly, I guess Toma really believes that. And Bardock has that sense of like, yeah, I got to do it for you guys, do it for me kind of thing. But the story doesn't give us that, and I love that about it. It's just a small side story where this character who you think would be special turns out not to be really that special at all.
Yeah, the story which is of little consequence, but happened nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that.
I really like, granted he's not going to go on and he's not going to defeat Frieza and, liberate the science, but he does get some badass moments here fighting the henchman, of course, to the very, very best.
Beautiful.
Solid State Scouter.
God, that song. I think I probably ruined the song for myself after like choosing it every single time when I played Fighter Z as the background music. Man, just fighting to that music yourself, it just feels so satisfying.
Oh, yeah, it's so good, because, I don't know, like, I just picture, how this whole fight goes, that it is rad, it's one-sided, and it's just, like, high energy and very, very cool, so that's, I
think he gets, like, flashbacks of, like, Goku from the flash forwards from Goku to the future and everything, and it just kind of interrupts his battle style, and he gets screwed up by that, but he picks it right back up again. It's a genuine, like, badass moment. Like, he gets it.
I mean, like, just the really cool parts where there's, like, a dust cloud, and he's using another guy as cover so that one of the bad guys shoots him instead.
Yep. And then like, his body, like, just comes out of the clouds and just goes down. It's like, animated so beautifully, too. Like, I'm thinking while I'm watching it, like, wow, they probably drew the foreground character, like, different times, because it's kind of like the camera's kind of circling around
that camera movement. I'm like, this is so sexy.
That's like so unnecessary, but because it's there, I appreciate it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's like the highlight for me every single time. It's just that camera movement. It's just impressive.
I love the move where like Bardock has the guy has Bardock in a chokehold, and then Bardock flips his whole body around so that the other guy punches through him instead.
The quick like blast he does right after that, where it's like his knee is closer to the camera.
Yes, that huge ass knee. Yeah, that's that like Fighter Z like camera angle where like the knee is humongous if you pull out and watch the model.
Doug is just like, give me that knee. I need it.
You said it, but I'm like, yeah, the knee. Like, it's totally what's in the foreground at that moment.
You got excited about it. I just had to like bring it up so that way we knew we were on the same page. But you wouldn't stop talking about the knee.
Oh, I can go for hours about that damn knee. But anyway.
But then he wins. Dodoria is still here.
Yeah, the big bad. That feels like a video game, like one of those 2D side scroller games where you like kind of go through the minions and then get to the final boss of that chapter, and like it's Dodoria. Like that's what it feels like to me. It feels cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Very like imposing, and like, well, now like it's very funny watching this because it aired, while they're in the midst of the Ginyu stuff. So I guess I don't know. At that point, it feels like Dodoria is not that scary of a person, because like Vegeta is definitely stronger, and by now like Gohan and Krillin could handle him, but
I guess. But I think that the story is so well, it does a good job of like having it so well removed from that story. Yeah. Like you're right, because you're not comparing that to characters in the present. You're comparing it to this Bardock character, and that it's an imposing force.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a good point. You're absolutely right there.
But I love how Dodoria doesn't really divulge the evil plan that Frieza wants to kill the Saiyans to Bardock. He does the Toma before he dies, but he doesn't do it to Bardock. Bardock asks, and Dodoria says nothing and just blasts him for dead.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, my job's done. Which is funny because Zarbon did the same thing against against Vegeta.
Against Vegeta. I didn't realize that. So you just mentioned it now. You're right. Wow, Frieza needs the higher, better health. Jesus.
More thorough work, guys. Come on.
Yeah, they're just muscle. They're not really brains. But before I forget, when I for this like scene, for that scene, when I bought it when I was like 2001 maybe or whatever, when it first came out on DVD in America, and I had to spend $25 at a Suncoast to buy this 50-minute special. When I played it, something was wrong with the audio in my DVD where I wouldn't hear scouter sounds. So it would look weird just hearing the character of like Bardock like react, or like even Dodoria like talking on his scouter piece. He's talking and there's no feedback, there's no nothing, and I was like, whoa, is that part of the show? Like, it feels like something should go there. And it wasn't until like I got a different version years later. I was like, oh, there's just obviously scouter sounds there and everything that's just been omitted for some reason on my DVD from Suncoast.
That's so strange.
Thanks,
that's so
Suncoast.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else.
They didn't produce the DVD.
No, I know, but they sold it. they went in there and tinkered in it. No, but yeah, it's probably just
they knew DVD. What they were selling me was trash.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone else out there had that same DVD, like the first one that ever released for that Bardock TV special, and if theirs was omitting the scouter sounds too. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Maybe it was only for the English dub track that it was missing, or maybe it was for the Japanese. It was like one or the other, because I think I switched over the audio and then heard it.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. I wonder if anybody else out there had something similar. Please let us know, because that would be crazy to hear.
I'm just intrigued by like that mess up. Or if it's just my DVD.
Right. Yeah. Let us know. We want to learn. We need to know.
So then Dodoria gets back and tells Frieza. Frieza's like, you missed. Or no, Zarbon's like, you missed one. But Frieza's like, nah, it's cool, bro.
Because the pod's on the way back.
Yeah. You actually see it coming back. Frieza's like, nah, bro, it's cool. We're going to destroy the whole planet anyway, so.
Yep. Bardock lands and is just... His entire, like, inner pod is just blood-soaked because he is...
the way that the pod lands. Like, oh, so that's how Saiyan space pods are supposed to land that abruptly? All right.
Unscathed. Yeah, these little, like, trampoline things.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And then he makes his way to the bar, as any man would do.
Yeah, I guess he just goes to any Saiyans that are close by, and there must be just a bar nearby to tell all his fellow Saiyans that, hey, Frieza's coming. And of course, Saiyans are just... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would say, of course, like, where would they gather? It's either going to be the bar or the sex dungeon, where they're all just going at it.
They don't have a sex dungeon. Just because they're savages.
They absolutely do. Come on.
Not in my Dragon Ball.
I wouldn't want to party with them if they don't have a sex dungeon.
Well, they don't want you to party with them, Rain. I think you're the bad influence in this scenario.
Oh, yeah, I'm the bad influence when they're... Whatever, man. Grow up.
They're just destroying planets, okay? You're talking about something
Science
even worse.
Fuck, Doug, and I'm tired of you trying to cover that up.
That's what we should, like... That's what the story trying to tell us, too, that it's kind of like the underlying theme, that Saiyans are these bad guys. Like, they just have their own sense of... Like, I think Bardock dies believing that Goku's gonna kill Frieza to avenge the Saiyan race. Ruthlessly, to avenge the Saiyan race. When in reality, which is great, Goku doesn't really do that. He doesn't want to kill Frieza. He actually spares him at one point and doesn't really want to kill him, but has to ultimately, or at least try to.
Tries.
But yeah, it's beautiful, awesome. It's realistic, is what I'm saying. Like, this is what the Saiyans, that's what we going through their minds. And also with, like, when Bardock goes to tell the Saiyans at the bar, hey, Frieza's coming to kill us all. Of course, they're like, you're crazy, Bardock. You drunk? This isn't This is it's a regular day for these Saiyans, and for someone to say that to them, of course they don't believe him.
Yeah, it's exactly how people would react to something like that. It's so outlandish and crazy. You're just, I don't know what's wrong with you, but clearly you've had too much or too little of something.
Yeah, and as a kid, as a teenager watching this, you're thinking like, why don't they believe Bardock? But you're like, no, of course they don't. They have no reason to.
Exactly. So then he's like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to do this on my own. And we've had these like brief flashes of like what's gonna happen in the future that have been cool. But there's one moment that like the editing is so great. He's running up these stairs, and as he gets to the top to like take a breath, when they do a camera cut and he's catching his breath, he's standing on the surface of Namek.
You notice like, the background, and you're just like, that's Namek. What? Like,
yeah.
Oh man, what a moment, man! Like I told you while watching it, I can't imagine being a kid in Japan watching that, because that's because to us, I think the first time we see it, we're kind of already in the Cell games, the Android kind of arc of the thing, so it's kind of in the past. But for them in Japan, that's what was going on in the story right now. Like we were in Namek at that point, and for Bardock from this distant past to show up in this future area, Namek, that must have been something cool to see.
Yeah, it's such a really neat moment besides just the editing, is because all these visions so far has been like, third person, like he's just viewing it as like, an outside force, but here now he's in it and he's living it, and it's so wild and cool.
It's so wild. He sees Goku, the back of Goku, and
it's like, why aren't you wearing the cool outfit we gave you?
Yeah, what is this weird orange?
You're in pajamas. This is not cool.
Are you a doctor?
Tell me you're a doctor.
Your brilliant scientist father. Oh my God, you went to the family business at all? After all,
how many things have you invented? Tell me.
Where's your tail is one thing too. Wow, it's
come on. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's kind of cool actually. The one with like all the thoughts going through Bardock's head. He probably didn't even notice that he didn't have a tail, to be honest.
No,
like, he just saw the hair and like felt that it was his son.
He's obviously probably like too blown away by everything that's happening currently. But snap back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. I don't know how the lyrics go.
That's exactly what the lyrics are.
Okay, good. I got it. Thanks, memes. He makes it to the top of the tower. He sees that Frieza's ship is coming down, so it's do or die time, and he's just gonna fucking go for it alone, which like, wow,
don't forget
man.
that cooler's up there in the second sun.
Oh yeah, you can see the cooler ship in the second sun.
Shut up, I'm just kidding. Stop.
We have more solid state scouter as he's just going in, and then like there's the army of people, and he's just fighting his way through.
It's like gut wrenching because he's like fighting for his like his life, like to get through there. Like he's gonna stop this. He's the only one. If Bardock can't do it, who can?
He's got all of the determination, He's like, I'm gonna do this, even though I'm all alone. And he faces down this whole army, and then finally gets to Frieza, and just like he goes on the speech, of like, oh, today I'm gonna take you down. Yeah. And Frieza just says nothing,
not a damn word. He doesn't have to.
No, just then makes his big energy ball, and then just laughs,
unleashes it.
Fucking cold, man.
To his men as well. Not only Bardock, but all the men around him. He just like just complete disregard to other life that's not his. Just throws the energy ball.
There's that great shot of like from the outside of the ship looking at Zarbon and Dodoria, who are just watching, and like honestly like a horror. They're just watching this planet explode.
Yeah, like as it's exploding, you see like the horror in their face, which like it insinuates like, oh, do they not see this often? Like, because that's a face of like Jesus, like holy crap.
Yeah, it's like, is this the first time, or is it just, like you had said while we were watching it, it never gets normal watching him do something like this.
And I feel like it also kind of insinuates that it kind of shows that Frieza is just pure evil, whereas even people like Zarbon and Dodoria aren't that evil. Like, they're evil, yes, but I mean, like, no one is that ruthless, but Frieza is. It just kind of elevates Frieza's evilness because of that. I mean, it's such a great shot.
I might not see it that way. I might just the pure awe of power that he wields, because, like, Dodoria is scared of, like, screwing up his job and not taking out all the Saiyans, and now he's seeing like the repercussions that if you cross him, like he is not unwilling to do crazy shit to get rid of you.
So, totally. I see that. Yeah, that way's a good way to see it too.
Yeah, even though he's like top ranked, he's not Ginyu Force, but it's him and Zarbon there as number 2, number 3, but it's like he'll fucking kill you.
But no, this special was fantastic. I love that like Bardock doesn't win this battle, but he kind of wins his own battle, his own internal battle, where he like comes to grip with I'm gonna lose here, but my son will carry on and kill you for me. That's what he believes. That's not really what happens, which is also great, but that's what he believes, and I love that.
I also like that, they could have easily tried to make him a good guy and then like, oh, also everything I ever did was wrong, and I shouldn't have killed all those people. Like, no, he was like,
yeah, no, exactly.
I liked it.
Yes, like he's still like a bad guy. It's just a bad guy against a bad guy, and
hurt my friends, and
of
that's
course we don't
something
see
I can't forget.
Yeah, of course we don't see it that way because we're seeing it through his perspective, and the story does a good job of putting us in his perspective. But yeah, he's still a ruthless Saiyan that the future iterations of Bardock kind of ruin and take away from it. That's why we don't like him that much.
But yeah, we have that, and then that final shot of like Goku facing down Frieza, and then he just smiles as he, gets obliterated, calling out his son's name.
Yeah,
his second son, not his first one. Has nothing to say about Raditz. I know that's the story, that we don't have to do that. It's just funny.
It is funny.
And then one last scene. Goku's landed on Earth, and he gets stumbled across by a very kind old man.
Very like cheerful old man that's just loving life and everything, and hard to picture him as being like a past like master martial artist,
Right, yeah. Well, he's definitely past his prime, but yeah, like...
Yeah, I mean, he still teaches Goku a lot, like, in the time he's alive, so he's got to have some moves still.
Yeah,
or at least maybe be a teacher. I guess you don't have to be like Roshi. I'm sure he didn't show them moves, he just kind of like taught them moves, if that makes sense.
I mean... He never teaches them actual martial arts. He just, trains their minds and their bodies. But like he's got that's the whole thing. Roshi's got the skills.
Yeah. I mean, Roshi taught Son Gohan, so yeah, that makes all the sense in the world.
Very true.
But yeah, it's cute. Like Son Gohan looks at the sky and then decides to name him after the sky, Goku. I forget how it translates literally, but Goku somehow means sky. Or like Sun Wukong means sky, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll look it up and I'll say what it is here.
Sure.
Okay, so here's the deal, and I even just kind of got to this part in my Duolingo lessons. But the name Goku, specifically, Go means to understand. And Ku uses the same kanji as Sora, which means sky. So it's to understand the sky. So, I mean, that's kind of the relationship there. So there you go. Back to the show. So here's what we're going to do, Doug. We've got some people who have things they want to say about the Bardock special, but I
always forget, and I'm always excited when you say that. Like, oh yeah, there's other people's input. It's great.
Yeah, it's always exciting. It's the best part. I mean, I like to listen to what you have to say too, but like, other people are great too.
Other people are better. More eloquent than I am. This special was great.
They're great. Let's take a quick break, do a little ad break, and then we'll come right back and we'll hear what everybody else had to say. Cool?
All right. Yep.
All right, we're back, and we all want to hear what you guys had to say about the Bardock TV special. Mm-hmm. So, our first response is from Martin at Captain Tsubasa. Actually, the at symbol, the handle is the Neckbeard Net, nice. Who said, pretty dated, but also pretty cool. Yeah, it's old. It's from the 90s, but like, it's rad.
Yeah, it's super rad. I love the 90s aesthetic look of it. Like, it makes me want to watch more stuff from the 90s just so, because like, it's a TV special, so of course they went all out with the animation style, so it's the best of the best of what the TV special could look like. So like, I want to watch like Akira all over again, like just the different things just in the 90s, and it's just, that looks amazing. It has so much style.
Oh yeah, there's something special about cell animated anime, man. It's just so good looking.
True.
Tanuki Joe at Tanuki Kuribo. Joe the man. He steps up and he's got a good old Doug-ism. He says animation and story are both great. I love it.
My man. I couldn't have said it better myself, Joe. Thank you.
He's took the words right out of your mouth.
Basically all I have to say.
And then we've got one from Omega Rockman, who says, strap in, because we've got a long one. Despite softening on Toriyama Bardock now that Broly presented the minus material well, and sorry for slightly spoiling Doug. Oop, this is going to be super manga spoilers. I don't want to.
That's okay.
I won't read that. You sure?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll forget it. unless it's something special.
The super manga actually using him to strengthen the current arc. Koyama's Bardock from the special is still the better version, in my opinion. The story is compelling, showing the tragedy of a warrior doomed to know the fate of his people, but unable to stop it. If I remember correctly, in DBD, Mystère Fusion compared Koyama's Bardock to Sisyphus, trying to roll that rock uphill, only for it to roll back and down as fate runs its course.
Yeah.
It's also really pretty, boasting fantastic art and animation, and who could forget the absolute banger that is Solid State Scouter?
Yeah.
On the note of music, the great use of the Melancholy Z Movie 3 soundtrack throughout makes it just as identifiable with Bardock as it is with Tullus. There's also a really great piece that I always associate with movie 1 that was playing like when he's in the hallway by himself.
Yeah,
I'm like, ooh, that's good shit.
You called that out. You're like, yeah, that feels great.
On a personal level, this was the other big thing that my friends and I fan-dubbed due to how awful the official dub is. Some of my friends, Mugen and Ryoma, were kind enough to lend a hand despite working on their own version. Overall, I'm a lot more proud of this than I am of our 2008 special dub, upping our game here to put out something that still makes me think, wow, we actually did that. Of course, Mugen's dub is absolutely stellar, so I'll link to both versions if anyone's interested.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Check out our mentions for that if you want to check out those dubs, because I can only imagine they are improvements, because this is an early in-house Funimation thing.
Very early.
Yeah, because I want to say I saw this on VHS from a friend who had it in like June 2001. So this would have been pretty early in things, because I believe the Frieza stuff started fall 99. So I don't know when the special was done, but yeah, it's pretty early, especially compared to now. And
I forget now who I had autograph my copy of that first DVD, but I know I did because
Sonny?
I think I asked. It wasn't Sonny. It was Kyle Bear and then someone else with him. But I think maybe it was Zarbon was voiced by Chris Sabat, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
But it was someone else. I'm sorry, I forget his name. But I think I had messaged them earlier on a social media platform to be like, hey, what was your first production in Dragon Ball? I want to bring the DVD for you to sign. And they said, it was the Bardock TV special. I'm like, oh, whoa, cool. Like, so this was definitely early on for most people. When it came to Dragon Ball, I can't remember, and I don't have the DVD. It's on my mom's house, but yeah, it was awesome. It was super cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, of course. I for some reason I thought I was watching it. I'm like, yeah, the dub of it sucked. But then as I'm watching, I'm like, oh no, wait, I remember some good parts. But it was only when Zarbon and Dodoria were on screen, and I think I only liked them two. I think Chris Sabat did a good job as Zarbon in the special, and Dodoria as well. But everyone else, Sonny Strait didn't do great as that, and when he was forced to read lines over silence was horrible. And
that's not the actor's fault, of course. But
that's not no. Yeah. But no, and of course, Omega Rockman mentions Mystère Fusion and how eloquently he puts the whole struggle of rolling a rock up a boulder up a mountain only for it to roll back on him. Like, that's a perfect analogy. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. It is such a tragic story, and it's something that's very un-Dragon Ball, but I love it because it's so different, and it adds this extra perspective on the story. It's nice. At JakePay16 says, when a reskin Goku is one of your favorite characters, it's a good special. He was so ruthless, and when he learns of the future, he does everything he can to fight and still loses. But knowing his son will at least avenge him is nice to see. I just wish Super kept that. Yeah, I mean, I've grown on Dragon Ball Minus / Dragon Ball Super Broly, Bardock's whole thing. But I definitely do prefer this Bardock to most anything else.
Like I said, it's nice to see, but I wouldn't lump it into him as a character, if that makes sense. I really don't like that they kind of it contradicts what this Bardock is. So
right.
It's two different Bardocks, but I love for what they serve in the story. I love them individually.
Yeah. Lum Ranmayasha says, Bardock is a fascinating anti-hero with a neat tragic arc about seeing his own demise and being unable to do anything about it. His only solace being that the son he didn't care about will unknowingly avenge him. Only complaint with the special is that the flashbacks are overused.
I didn't get that feeling watching it this time around, but I think I got that feeling previously. Like, I thought I was going to feel that here, but I think the flashbacks, I think it was only because if you watched it dubbed, I'm not saying they are, but when I watched it dubbed, I felt like it was because the constant talking. Oh, is this a vision? Is that Vegeta? Is that my son, like the constant is, I'm like, all right, just stop talking about it already. That made it feel like they lasted longer, more frequent. Where in the Japanese version, it's just silence, so you get to it's just a part of the scene. It's great.
Right. Yeah. I don't think there's too many. There's maybe like 3, maybe 4.
I'm sure there's more. I think like at least 4 or 5, but they're not. They're like, I think maybe 2 long ones that show like multiple scenes.
Right. Maybe if the flashbacks were shorter rather than like, I don't know, number of cuts of like Goku versus Vegeta. I don't know. Just ideas.
Yeah.
John Rogers at Magicbox 67. Whenever I rewatch the special, I'm blown away by how confident it is. It knows exactly what it wants to accomplish. It retains just enough familiar elements, namely casting Nozawa in the lead role, to help the audience feel right at home despite an unfamiliar story and setting. Some of the best music from Dragon Ball Z movie number 3 is recycled to hauntingly beautiful effect. More importantly, the writing understands that in order for the story to work, Goku's father has to fail and accomplish nothing of significance, something modern Dragon Ball can't bring itself to admit.
Yeah, like that's a perfect way to put it. Like this movie does feel like it's just so confident in everything it does.
They definitely had an idea and a plan going into it. They had a vision and they stuck to it and they stuck the landing. Like that's what's impressive about it.
And it's crazy to think that it's like one of their first outings like without Toriyama's input really, besides like key and
besides,
like animation,
like the movies and
I mean, like just besides the way Bardock and his team looks, you know, like that's not. I don't think he didn't have a story input. He just kind of
right.
I think Toriyama just drew an image of Bardock in the manga at one point, or was that after? What was that?
That was after this. Initially, Nakatsuru had pitched the designs to Toriyama, and he did some changes. Like before, Bardock's hair was kind of like more upright, so he changed
more
it to
like
just
Vegeta,
be Goku's.
but forward.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like some colors and stuff were different, and I think some minor differences, but it was tweaked. And then they went ahead and made this, and then Toriyama
loved it so much that like he drew him in the manga.
Yep, exactly. When Goku shows up to fight Frieza, and Frieza's like, "You look familiar." And there's just that one panel of Bardock.
It's so short, it's so simple, but it's like a great nod.
Yeah, big time. Skefferton Licorice at Living Zombie 00 says, I was devastated when I saw this for the first time as a little kid. Classic Bardock is easily my favorite character in DBZ. Shows how warrior-based the Saiyans were, but that some still had that spark of good in them. I loved rewatching this. The episode of Bardock, though... we don't talk about that. We'll talk about it at some point. But,
it's so easy to see why this is like everyone, like a lot of people's favorite character, including my own. Like he's such a great contrast to Goku, and just I mean, I guess because he's around so short, they gave him a lot of like badass moments, quote unquote badass moments, to like just kind of show off and see what he can do. That it just feels like a much cooler Goku. In a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, he's not a nice guy, but he's definitely still got some of those shonen attributes, like, don't hurt my friends.
Everyone loves a rebel, and like that they have their own sense of justice. Bardock felt like he was doing his own good. He was doing good by himself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I got from people, man. So
that was great.
It's time to finish things off with a couple of little trivia bits, if that's all right with you.
You found trivia, okay. Well, let me have them, man.
I got a couple, so we'll see how well this works.
Okay.
At the end of the special, we are shown that Vegeta is off-world conquering and slaying another planet when he's delivered the news of his planet's demise.
Don't ask me who it was.
In a later episode of the Z anime series, we are shown a different flashback of Vegeta hearing of his home planet's destruction.
Oh, yeah.
Where was he in that flashback?
Damn it. Was it Arlia? I don't think it's Arlia. It's not Arlia.
It's not.
I don't because it's there's still like bug people that it looks like, but nope. I don't know what they were called, that species that he was at. Can you give me a hint? Is it something that's like hintable, like a fruit or something?
It's not a planet.
It's not a planet. I don't know then.
It is supposed to be Frieza's spaceship. He's just there on the ship with them when he finds out about it, which is weird because you'd think that ship would be there where it's exploding, but
yeah,
it might have been a different Frieza's spaceship. I mean, it's a giant armada. Who knows? But like, it's very clearly like one of their ships.
I misheard your question. I was like already in denial of what your answer was. I thought you were going to ask me who was Vegeta eating when we first see him.
No.
You're talking about when Vegeta finds out that it was Frieza that destroyed the planet as opposed to a meteor, like he was told.
No, I mean he's told that, but where was he? in this TV special, he's on some other planet eating something. Where was he in that flashback, which was on one of Frieza's spaceships?
Don't recall at all. You have to show me that later.
Yeah, that's later on when he transforms into his second form, and we get a whole bunch of flashbacks of like King Vegeta like trying to fight against him and shit.
Oh, yeah. I use that scene for an AMV because there's not much King Vegeta scenes. So I remember that specifically, but I don't remember Vegeta eating anything. What was he eating?
I don't know. I don't know anything about eating. I was asking, where was he?
That, Mr. Randy, what was Vegeta eating? What's his diet?
All right. I mean, you do that. Here's another one for you. In one of the flash forwards that Bardock sees, he sees Goku's pod descending on a familiar planet. Of course, this is supposed to be Earth. What is odd about this shot?
That there's no, like, flames surrounding it, like there wasn't the opening of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z?
No.
From the sun in the distance. What was odd about this shot is that it looked like Earth, like our Earth, as opposed to Dragon Ball's Earth.
Ding, 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 you got it. There's North America and South America on there. It's like, that's not Dragon World Earth. That's weird.
I didn't actually know that. I just kind of like threw a guess out there that felt right, but what else could it be?
That's why I tried to keep it vague. What's odd about the shot?
I appreciate that, yeah.
No problem.
I didn't look at that, but I can tell by that context clues what it was.
Well, that's all I got, man. You got 1 for 2. I think that worked out pretty well. Okay.
Any day of the week, I'll take that. As opposed to Vegeta's diet plan that he tried to ask me about. I don't know.
I was not trying to ask what a diet... You took it there.
What did Vegeta eat? What did you have for breakfast this morning? I don't know, man.
I did not ask anything about eating.
Get out of here.
Okay. I don't think you even listen to me when I talk. Thank you for listening, listeners. We love interacting.
Great podcast.
Yeah, it does. We love interacting with you, keeping you in the conversation. Love hearing your comments when we throw out the tweet of like, hey, we're talking about this. Let us know what you think. It's the highlight of our show. We freaking love it.
Shout out to Omega Rockman and Jake Pay. You guys are always there and appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah. Same thing for Skefferton Licorice. She's always keeping up with everything. Like
that name makes me giggle every time I giggle.
Make sure that if you've got something you want to hear us talk about, you can tweet at us, email us. It's at WeGotAPod and WeGotAPod@gmail.com. Also wanted to let you know that just to drop it here at the end, we've been doing this for a year, man.
Wow.
I know it's been wild and it's been so much fun, but Randy needs a little bit of a break. So I want to take a 1-month hiatus. We're just going to take a little bit of a vacation.
That sounds good to me. We
recharge some siesta. Batteries. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Give me some of that siesta. We're going to take a break, but we're going to come back in March. We've already got an episode lined up. We've got a special guest. We just got to schedule everything out. I'll just let people know right now because they've said they're doing it.
Can you tease what we're going to be at least talking about?
It's about the future.
The future?
Yeah.
Future?
Pretty far in the future.
The Cubbies win it all at the big game?
Yeah, and then there's Jaws 3D.
Ooh.
Biff is still an asshole. I don't know. Should I just say it? Can I just say what it is, man? I mean, we're doing
the Future Trunks special. I think we should. I think if we tease enough, people can guess who the guest will be from there. But we're doing the Future Trunks special.
Somebody who loves Trunks,
and we're really excited to talk to them about it because I've been a long time listener of the podcasts, of certain podcasts that they might have been on.
Mm-hmm. Faux show. Speaking of podcasts, dude, friends of the show, Colton and Sakaki, have a new episode of their own Dragon Ball podcast, Another Day, Another Adventure. And I was a guest, and that episode went public just this week. So go check it out. Go check out that show. It's tons of fun.
If you miss Randy's voice, and then if you miss both our voices, we're going to be... Can we say that? We're going to be on...
Right. Next week, you and I are going to be recording an episode with them. So I wanted to say... The episode that just went up, they're watching the original Dragon Ball anime and then talking about it in episode chunks. He and those two and me talked about the training episodes with Roshi leading up to the 21st Budokai. And then you and I are recording some stuff next week where we're going to be watching and talking about some stuff in Muscle Tower.
Yeah. So, it's going to be fun.
It'll be fun. Heck
so
yeah,
much
man.
for our break, but yeah, it's going to be fun. We're taking a break from podcasting now. Let's go podcast.
I took a break from my podcast to go do other podcasts. You know what I'm actually going to be doing during this break?
What?
I'm going to be editing a different podcast.
Are you really?
I have 14, 15 episodes of a podcast that I've got sitting in the back, just ready to be edited and published. So hopefully I can get them out within that month.
You flippin' slut. Of course,
I can't keep my mouth away from this beautiful microphone.
More podcast, yeah.
So keep your eyes out on Twitter and stuff. I'll make sure to mention it. It'll be Revolutionary Podcast Utena, where me and my buddy Jared watch the show. I've seen it before; he hasn't, and we just talk about the show bit by bit as we're going through. So if you've never seen it before, watch along with us, and we talk about it. No spoilers, other than the episodes that we're talking about, because Jared hadn't seen it yet. So it was it's a good time.
Cool.
Doug, you're going to read that super manga.
Whenever it falls on my lap, which you've done
cool.
all the power you have within you to make it fall
I'm
in
going
my
to
lap.
buy a freaking plane ticket. I'm going to fly there with a stack of the manga and drop it in your lap and just like sit across from you and just be like, go on, read.
You like, I imagine you like tie my hands to the chair and like have my eyelids taped open as you like flip a page for me. You done reading that part, Doug? All right, cool. Next page.
You just let me know when you want the next one. Okay, here it is.
You want a sip of water? You got to finish the page before you drink of water. Please.
No bathroom breaks until you finish the volume.
Gonna read Super, Doug. If it kills me, if it kills you.
It's not going to kill me. It'll make me stronger.
Zenkai boost.
Thank you to Rifti Beats for letting us use his track, Kakarot theme hip hop trap remix. You can find it and other great tracks by Rifti on his SoundCloud. Thanks to our sponsors. Doug, where can people find you?
I'm Jabaz Doug on social media. Randy, what about you?
I'm at Saber_Breaker on all of the places on the internet. Thanks again. Subscribe to the show, tell your friends, post a review. It helps us out. And we'll see you in March and spring. So
thanks
look
for listening,
forward
guys.
to it.
We'll see you then.
See you post time skip.